What's up, guys? It's MB Boxing. I just finished up watching Jerwin Ancajas versus Fernando Martinez, and this was a 12-rounder for the IBF super-flyweight World Championship, and this fight was Saturday, February 26th, from the Cosmopolitan of Las Vegas in Las Vegas, Nevada, and this fight was broadcasted on Showtime, and in this fight, Fernando Martinez was able to snap Jerwin Ancajas' nearly 10 title defense streak. Jerwin Ancajas just short of 9 title defenses, tried to get that 10th tonight, but he did not. And Martinez got the upset unanimous decision victory, and he dominated in this fight. I scored a 118 to 110 in favor of Martinez, and I'm going to be 100% honest, he totally surprised me. Excellent performance. It was literally a reversal of what I thought the actual fight was going to be. So, yeah, I mean, the judges scored this bout 118, 110 twice, agreeing with my scorecard, and one judge also had it 117, 111, which I can see as well. That's just adding one more round for Ancajas, and there was like maybe one or two more rounds that could have went to Ancajas, but yeah, so the only point where the fight was really kind of close was after the first 4 rounds. So the first 2 rounds, I mean, really, this fight was outstanding. I'm going to be 100% honest. They threw like over 1,800 punches. It was just outstanding. But, yeah, so it was really just, both of these men were really coming forward and throwing a lot of punches, but it was really just Martinez's will, and he had just more dog in him. I mean, his shots were landing. He was throwing like 60 punches per round. I mean, that was just insane. This fight was just ridiculous. So many punches thrown, so many punches landed, and I'm shocked that Martinez didn't get tired at the end of that fight. I mean, he still looked fine, and he was throwing so many punches. I mean, he's probably just one of the best gas tanks in boxing, throwing that many punches and still being all right at the end of the fight. I mean, that was just ridiculous. I've never seen something like that ever. I mean, and the shots he was throwing in round 12 had really the same effect on Ancajas as they did in round 1. I mean, it was just ridiculous. Just props to Martinez. I mean, he really surprised me. I mean, he was really like a bull in there. I mean, he wasn't stopping. Every time he'd come forward. And the thing is, in Ancajas, he was just too slow, and he was focusing more on placing his shots as opposed to just wheeling them out there like Martinez was. But it wasn't like Martinez was just throwing random shots and leaving his chin open. No, he was throwing shots, and he was throwing them in perfect places, going down to the body once, going up to the head when it's open. He was just very sharp, and even though that style might not be so technical, I mean, when you really think about it, it's a very technical style when you think of where he's got to place these shots, how they got to land, and I mean, it was perfect tonight for Martinez. So my hat's off to him. Excellent performance. And my hat is also off to Jerwin Ancajas. He showed a lot of heart in there as the champion. This was a tough loss for him. Hasn't lost since 2012. So basically 10 years since he's ever lost, and Martinez was the man to do it. Now Martinez undefeated. And this almost, although these guys are at the same age, they're both 30 years old, it just reminds me of like a passing of the torch. Like we have a new long-reigning champion, it looks like, because I don't really see anyone beating that ridiculous style that Martinez does possess. It's an insane style. But just to break down the fight, in the third round, Martinez was backed up a bit with a nice shot at the end of the round. But, I mean, that was one of the rounds that I did give to Ancajas because of that shot. Then in round number 6, I mean, Ancajas looked like he was really hurt. He was getting backed up, brutally damaged with hooks, and the same was for a lot of other rounds throughout this fight. And also in round, I believe maybe it was the 9th or 10th round, somewhere around there, Ancajas actually buckled Martinez with a very nice hook right on the chin. But still, I gave that round to Martinez, considering that Martinez dominated the rest of that round and was just landing the better shots. And a funny thing is that Martinez did break a world record for the super flyweight, like how many power punches thrown during a fight, and he landed 421 punches. And the funny thing is, he only landed 6 jabs, so it was like all power punches. I mean, that was just a ridiculous style, insane style. Props to him. So with that being said, what is next for the new champion, Fernando Martinez? He does have a rematch clause for this fight, so I mean, I really think it's going to be 2 options. It's either going to be rematching Ancajas because of that rematch clause, if Ancajas does evoke it, or it could be a unification already for Fernando Martinez to take on the WBO champion, Kazuto Ioka. Those are the 2 options, I think, which could be next. But as for Jerwin Ancajas, I think the one option I'll just talk about, I don't really know what's next if he doesn't invoke the rematch, but I'll just say what's next for him is probably the rematch between him and Martinez, and if not, maybe he could fight someone in the top 10 who's obviously not Martinez in the super flyweight division. So overall, Fernando Martinez upsets and defeats Jerwin Ancajas, handing him his first ever loss, this time by unanimous decision. And Ancajas has never lost since 2012, and Martinez snapping that 10-year streak. And yeah, that's really it. I'm MB Boxing. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys later.